I worked the reception desk at a small hotel in Amsterdam, and an American guest insisted we erase all lobby camera recordings. Nothing happened, he just said he never agreed to being filmed. I told him the cameras were normal security, clearly marked. He pulled out his phone and showed me a California privacy rule, claiming it applied worldwide. I explained we followed Dutch regulations, not California's. He argued, "I'm American, your cameras can't apply to me." He demanded paperwork guaranteeing we'd blur his face in every clip. When I said we can't do that, he threatened to report us to the European FBI. I gave him the number of our local police. He called. They told him to read the posted signs. He left a review saying we violated his constitutional rights. And that's the point. These moments aren't rare. They're part of a pattern document, so you don't get blindsided by it. If you're someone who wants to understand how things actually work instead of assuming the world runs by US rules, subscribing keeps you ahead of the next shock. A woman at our Prague currency exchange refused service because we asked for her passport. She claimed requesting ID was invasion of privacy and illegal back home. I told her Czech law requires it for exchanges above €1,000. She insisted we accept a driver's license. I said international verification needs a passport. She accused us of collecting data and demanded to know what system her details would go into. When I pointed at the legal notice on the wall, she said, "That's in Czech. Show me the English version." "We're in the Czech Republic, there is no English version." She said her travel agent never mentioned this, walked out without exchanging money, and later wrote a review saying Prague was running a surveillance state operation. These things happen weekly. So let's talk about Americans' expectations versus European privacy rules. I manage a clothing boutique in Berlin. An American tried returning a jacket without a receipt. Our policy asks for ID for no receipt returns, basic fraud prevention. She refused, saying we weren't allowed to see her personal details without consent. I explained we only verify identity. She said, "That's not how GDPR works, I read about it." She insisted we needed written permission just to glance at her ID. I told her we don't store anything, just confirm who she is. She demanded to speak to our GDPR officer. I am the GDPR officer. She wanted to see my certification. I told her no certification is required for a clothing store. She accused us of breaking European law. She pulled up the GDPR website on her phone and started reading articles aloud. I reminded her she could simply bring the receipt. She said she shouldn't have to. GDPR protects her from this. She filed a complaint with German authorities. They sent a form letter explaining retail ID checks aren't data harvesting. She posted it online as proof that Germany admitted guilt. Most travelers only notice a strict employee or a firm rule. But you're here because you want the bigger picture. Subscribers don't just watch these breakdowns, they stay ahead of them. I work IT support at a co-working space in Stockholm. An American member demanded we shut off Wi-Fi logging because it tracked his digital footprint. Our system logs connection times for security and bandwidth. We don't monitor browsing. He said metadata is still data. GDPR says he controls it. I explained he agreed to the terms when joining. He claimed he never consented to surveillance, and that the terms were probably illegal. He wanted written proof we'd delete all his log entries. I told him logs stay for 30 days due to security protocols. He threatened to report us for violating European privacy rights. He emailed Swedish authorities. They replied that network logging is not a violation. He responded saying they didn't understand their own laws. He switched to using his mobile hotspot only, then complained the workspace had terrible infrastructure. He warned other members that we were data mining them. 3 people asked if it was true. None of them were American. A guest at our Copenhagen restaurant asked if we kept reservation details. I said yes, for scheduling. She asked how long they stayed in the system. I said 6 months for regulars, shorter for one-time guests. She demanded immediate deletion of her data. I explained we needed it to hold her table for the evening. She said after tonight, delete everything. I'm using my right to be forgotten. I told her we'd remove her from marketing lists. She said no, everything. Name, phone, email, card authorization. I explained accounting rules require keeping transaction info. She said that violated GDPR erasure rights. I explained legal exceptions. She wanted the policy in writing. We're a family restaurant, we don't have formal paperwork for something that basic. She said we were operating without GDPR compliance. She paid cash to avoid card records, refused the coat check number because it could be tracked, and lectured our staff about European restaurants needing better privacy training. She made her next reservation under a fake name. I'm a tour guide in Rome. An American couple refused to enter the Colosseum because of the security cameras. Not heat or crowds, because they believed Italy used facial recognition on everyone. I explained these were standard cameras, not biometric scanners. The husband said all cameras have facial recognition nowadays. I said the Colosseum uses normal surveillance. He said that's what they want you to think. His wife asked if they could wear masks inside. I said yes. It was midsummer. They came in wearing medical masks, huge sunglasses and hats pulled low. The husband wouldn't look up at the architecture because the cameras are up there. He asked if Italy shared data with US agencies. I said I had no idea. He took that as confirmation. They left after 20 minutes claiming the surveillance was too intense. They reviewed us saying we failed to warn them about biometric tracking. They were serious. I work the pharmacy counter in Brussels. An American asked if our prescription system was connected to international databases. I said it links to Belgium's national health system. He asked if the US could access it. I said no. He didn't believe me. He said, what if I need this medication back in America? I explained he'd need a US doctor to issue a new prescription. He said, so you won't share my data when I need it, but you also won't share my data when I don't want you to. That makes no sense. I tried explaining privacy versus prescription portability. He cut me off. This is why European healthcare doesn't work. You're so focused on privacy you can't help patients. He demanded a paper prescription with no digital record. I explained our system requires digital entry. He asked for someone not restricted by European rules. I'm the pharmacist, and I follow Belgian law. He said American pharmacies would never do that. I told him US pharmacies also keep digital records. He said, but those are our records in our country. He left without medication, saying he'd find a pharmacy that respected patient autonomy. Every pharmacy here uses the same system. A customer at our Oslo electronics shop wanted a phone without registering it. Norway requires ID for SIM cards. She said that was authoritarian and violated her privacy. I told her it's for fraud and terrorism prevention. She said Norway is safe, why surveillance? I explained registration isn't surveillance. She said any government database equals surveillance. She asked if she could use a fake name. I said no. She asked if she could use her hotel address. I said we need permanent address. She said what if she's traveling? I said tourists use their home address. She said so Norway will store my American address. I said yes. She said so it's for tracking. I said it's for contact, not tracking. She bought the phone but refused the SIM, planning to use Wi-Fi only. She asked if Wi-Fi required registration. I said mall Wi-Fi is open. She asked if it's monitored. I said probably for bandwidth. She left looking for a less intrusive country, Sweden. They have stricter rules. I work reception at a Vienna medical clinic. An American patient demanded immediate deletion of his appointment record. I explained we are legally required to keep medical files. He said not if he withdraws consent. GDPR means he can delete anything. I told him medical records have legal exemptions. He claimed he studied the rules and knew his rights. He wanted written proof we destroyed his file. I said that would be illegal and cost us our license. He said so European privacy laws don't actually protect privacy. I tried explaining the gap between marketing data and medical records. He cut me off, saying Americans complain because European laws make no sense. You promise privacy but won't delete his information. I said he can file a complaint. He did. Authorities sent him a detailed explanation of retention laws. He replied saying his American files were deleted once, so Austria should do the same. They told him he'd misunderstood what happened. he still emails claiming Austria violated his rights. These issues come from assuming European privacy means no data collection at all. GDPR protects against misuse, not legitimate use. Surveillance cameras, prescription databases, SIM registration, these exist in America too. Europe controls how the data is used, not whether it exists. And if you made it this far, that nuance is exactly why. Subscribe. This is just the first chapter of how American expectations collide with European systems. Next time, Americans versus European customer service. One woman reported a Dutch cashier for not chatting enough. The cashier was just being efficient.